I'm gonna let me get a nerd cluster before. I don't know if you guys know this is a top 2 candy for me. The Nerds gummy clusters, but I like the berry punch ones. It's like a bomb pop, which was like my favorite little popsicle growing up as a kid. The bomb pop ones. I love nerd clusters. It's 1 and 2 between them and the sour punch straws. Those are my top 2 for sure. You can't go wrong with them. It's like nerd rope bites. It's fantastic. Forgive me. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the We'll See You Later podcast, brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition, the best energy and nutrition on the planet, right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is episode 34. Snowmageddon is about to happen outside. Today is Thursday. I wanted to wait until after Arkansas played Ole Miss to do this episode, just to see if what we saw at Tennessee was possibly something that's just normal, or if Tennessee was just that good and we were that cold. So today is Thursday. The snow has not started falling just yet, but I hear it can at any minute. So we're going to make this episode pretty quick, but we're not going to make it boring, I tell you that. Okay, today we have a great episode for you guys. It's going to be all things Arkansas basketball and SEC basketball as well. We're going to dabble a tiny bit in the transfer portal on the football side of things, what we can possibly hope to come, and then a funny of the day. And then we're going to get the hell out of here. Okay, guys, without further ado, welcome to the pig walk section. Okay, guys, so I have wrote this down. And I put it on a short on our YouTube channel here. But I just want to reiterate, because this happened now as of last night. All this happened. So we're 2 games in for every SEC school. Week 1 down. What is our evaluations? I wrote it down. Y'all ready for this? Take a breath. Number 1, Tennessee beat number 23, Arkansas by 24. Number 10, Kentucky beat number 6, Florida by 6. Number 8, now Florida, beat number 1, Tennessee by 30. Georgia, unranked, beat number 6, Kentucky by 13. Number 24, Ole Miss beat Georgia by 12. Arkansas lost to Ole Miss by 7. Vandy beat LSU by 8. Number 14, Mississippi State beat Vandy by 12. Missouri, unranked, beat unranked LSU by 15. Number 2, Auburn beat unranked Missouri by 24, and Texas unranked by 5. Number 13, Texas A&M beat Texas by 20 and beat Oklahoma by 2. 17 Oklahoma. Number 5, Bama beat number 17 Oklahoma by 28 and beat South Carolina unranked by 20. What is happening in the SEC? So what you can think after week 1 is out the window. Like, it is exactly what we said it would be, and we're only 2 games per team in. Like, that's it. That's all we can say. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so takeaways from that. What do we take away from that? As an Arkansas fan, you're not happy. I wanted to throw away the Tennessee game because it's opening weekend. It's at Tennessee, and we shot so terrible. I got out rebounded like nobody's business. So I was like, we just weren't ready. But then Cal goes on and says that he didn't even give him a shoot around. He's like, hey, we slept in and we had breakfast. I didn't even have a shoot around. I was like, so it's opening weekend on the road against the number 1 team in the country, and you decided to not have a shoot around with the guys. You just wanted them to go in cold. So I didn't throw it out, but I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, we're going to go over here. Ole Miss, let's see if we can turn around and be different. And we came out of the gates hot against Ole Miss. And then just fell off, right? Just fell off completely. And I don't know what you can make out of it. We look bad. We look like we don't have a leader. Our coach kind of seems a little cuckoo. And here's what it is. Let's be real. Here's what it is. There's no leader on the court. There are great athletes, Boogie, freshman, 18-year-old stud, shooting a lot, trying to do the Superman, put everybody on the shoulders and go. That ain't going to work in the SEC. It's not going to work. Like, Boogie's got to get his, but it's got to be smart gets, not these elbow jumpers with nobody there to get a rebound, and we're forcing a shot really early in the shot clock. The first half, we looked like a pretty decent team. We were just missing some shots. John L. Davis finally started hitting some threes. That's all we need out of him. But we need a leader on the court, and we do not have a leader at all on the court. We have individuals who are studs. Like, I think Theoro is the leader who's going to lead by example. He's going to go get his. He's going to work his ass off. He's going to out-athlete everybody out there, but he's not going to be the vocal leader. I don't think Boogie is going to be the leader. Who should be the leader is Jonas Adu. Adu is all SEC last year. Him and John L. Davis should be the two leaders, vocal leaders on the court. John L. Davis put FAU in the Final Four. He led them there. And then he's come here and he's just been a shell of himself. Adu has been injured, but he can still be the leader. He can still be the voice. Brazil might have to try to step into that role. He's playing his butt off, I will say, on trying to get the boards and play physical. I think Wagner's going to end up having to be that guy. I just, looking at everybody, I think he's going to be the leader of this team, but we need one desperately. But we also need our coach to quit just babbling on. I feel as if, looking from just watching what we've seen, Calipari, I think, is going to bring kids in because of his name, but our coaching staff is going to have to coach them. And I don't think we have a leader on the coaching staff. Ronnie Brewer was the only one I thought on the sideline who isn't even really a part of this coaching staff. He stayed. He stayed because he loves Arkansas. He's the only one being vocal on the bench. Go watch the Ole Miss game and tell me that. Look at the energy on the bench. There's none. There's no energy in the crowd. There's no energy on the team. There's no energy on the bench. And we're trying to blame, where's the fans? Why the hell should they show up? You put rich kids, like these kids are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money to play basketball, and that's the product you're putting out on the court. I wouldn't go either. Do something. Like, what sucks as an Arkansas fan is we had such a really bad year in football, right? Like 6-6, 7-6, if that's what you want to live on, that's great. But all of our best players are either going pro or going to Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they're scattering out, And so we're like, okay, well, that's not cool. We're the laughing stock of college football kind of for us, like in the SEC. Everybody comes and just takes our best players and brings them to their school. And then we'll play them next year. That's not a good look. Then you turn around and now basketball, Kentucky was like trying to warn us, right? That's how their fans were like, y'all ain't ready for this. Cal says the same thing every interview, this, that, the other. Like, we've been trying to get them out here for forever, and now we're kind of proving Kentucky right. And Kentucky's pretty good. They did just lose one game. It was kind of weird how they won. They went in a shootout 106-100 against Florida, which was awesome, and then turned around and lost to Georgia, who's unranked. But it's whatever. But we can't live with that. We'll be the laughing stock in basketball. We're putting so much pressure on this baseball team right now. We're only 1 week into college basketball, and we're already freaking out. All right, so let's just do the takeaways that we can do from the SEC on week 1. Week 1, we're going to go from the good to bad to ugly. So the good, not for us, just for the basketball. No, we're going to go 2-0s, 1-1s, and 0-2s. Ole Miss is 2-0 in SEC. They beat Georgia and they beat Arkansas. I want to say that the Arkansas win's going to matter later. I'm not sure about Georgia, but Georgia did get a win on Florida. But they won by 12, won by 7. I think they're a middle of the road SEC school. Auburn, number 2. That's a solid look for them. They beat Missouri by 24, and then they beat Texas by 5. Texas hasn't been that great, but still, Auburn looks to me as one of they're 1 or 2 in the country, followed by who I do think is the real deal right now, who is the top of the top, Alabama. They beat number 17 Oklahoma by 28, and then they turn around and beat South Carolina by 20. They're handling business and doing it easily in their first week. A&M, number 10 in the country, they did beat Texas by 20. So Auburn beat them by 5. Texas A&M beats them by 20. But then they turn around and beat Oklahoma, number 17, by 2. And Bama beat Oklahoma by 28. So it's like, again, it's hard to go off of these things because we could lose by 30 over here and win by 20 over here. Like, it's a massive swoop. But that's just week 1. That's all we're looking at. And Mississippi State, to me, who they've played has not been the best, but they're getting stuff done too. That's going to be a dark horse that you're going to look at. You're going to look up there, and they're going to be a top 10 team. You're like, oh, whoa, it's Mississippi State. They beat South Carolina by 35. That's crazy. 85-50. And then they beat Vandy by 12, and Vandy's, but That's the good when it comes to the SEC. If you're one of those teams, that's the positive out of your first week is these 5 teams won. Ole Miss to me is the bottom of that group just because of who they've played and how they've won. I think Bama's the real deal. It's to me, it's Mississippi State and Bama that have the best week. They've had the best week. Bama by far by a mile, and then Mississippi State right behind them. Auburn just doing what Auburn does. A&M having a good week. Yeah, I mean, you're happy if that's your program. The bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, the bad part. The 1-1s. Georgia goes 1-1. They split with Kentucky, and they lost to Ole Miss. Kentucky beating Florida, and then losing to Georgia. Florida losing to Kentucky, but then beating Tennessee. Tennessee beating Arkansas, then losing to Florida. Missouri goes 1-1. They lose to Auburn, and then they beat a nobody. I think they beat LSU. And then Vandy goes 1-1. So that's that's the middle of the guys. And then you have the ugly. And Arkansas fans, we can be a little panicked, a little. But you got to look at here in this list. South Carolina's on this list. We kind of figured they would fall off. Texas is on this list. They're 0-2. LSU is 0-2. And the 2 teams that I don't think you expect to be 0-2 and dang sure not 0-3, but they could. Oklahoma is top 25. They're 0-2 in Arkansas. I thought we would at least go 1-1 here. I thought we'd won for Ole Miss, lose to Tennessee, but we did not. So that's the ugly. If we're going to look at stats here, which I love to do, we lost to Tennessee by 24, and then we lost to Ole Miss by 7. If we're going to look at percentages, for both games, we shot 37% field goal percentage. Game 1, 20% from the three-point line, 6 of 29. Game 2 against Ole Miss, 5 for 23. We shot 21%, 1% better. Doesn't matter. We did improve on our free throws, so that's the best we can say here. We went 6 of 13 from our free throws against Tennessee, which is 46%. We went 17 of 24 against Ole Miss, 70%. We'll take that. Here's the crazy stat. Got out rebound. There was a 1 rebound difference between us and Ole Miss the whole game. 1 rebound. There was a 22 rebound difference between us and Tennessee. They had 22 more rebounds. Of course we lost. I'm surprised we lost by 24. Should have lost by more. Going into this right now. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is just bad. Okay, we've identified that it's leadership, not just from the coaching staff, but from the player's perspective. Somebody's going to have to be that leader. Let's see what we can do. Let's see who we can put out there, because Saturday, today's Thursday, so 2 days from now, we've got a buck up, buttercup. We've got number 8 Florida coming to Bud Walton, 14-1, 1-1 in conference. Their only loss right now is coming off of a Kentucky loss, 106-100. This doesn't look great. We're either walking into a buzzsaw or this team's going to have to buck up. Because if you look at it, just in the 2 games, Florida's averaging 89.5 points a game. Arkansas's averaging 59 points a game. We're averaging 30 points less than Florida in our 2 games. Florida has shot 53 threes in 2 games. They've made 18, so they're 34%. We've shot 52 threes. We've made 11. We're at 21% from our three-point line just in our 2 SEC games. We have shot 37 free throws and made 23, 62%. They have shot 52 free throws and made 35. They're at 67%. So we're a 5% difference. That's going to matter. Getting to the line is going to matter. We're getting there, though. Our second game, we got there a lot more. We averaged 32 rebounds a game. They averaged 47. Just looking on paper, I know it's only been 2 games. Florida's scoring. We're not. So if you're going to identify the problem is we either have to slow them down, which I don't think we can defensively. I just don't see it. Or we're going to have to do a shootout with them. And I think that's where we're going to have to go. The biggest issue I'm seeing is just that we just look like a bunch of athletes out there that don't have any direction. I don't see how, with the talent level that we have, how we're not running and gunning all day long. I get we're terrible from the three-point line right now, but I get so confused because the first half we came out, especially this last game against Ole Miss, and we came out hot. We ran offenses. We were sprinting up and down the court, played pretty solid defense right out of the gate, had some blocks early, some steals early, rebounding early. We're up 12-1. 12-1. They didn't get their first basket, until 5 minutes had it almost elapsed in the game. We had a 5-minute head start. At halftime, it was tied 33-33. And then we just went down the shitter and had to play catch up. It made no sense. We were up by 9 at one point, and then we were down by 10. It's just, and then you get down to the last 5 minutes of the game, we're down 7, 8, or 9. There's no speed. There's no urgency on the offensive side of the ball. And then we stop running offense. We stop. We'll throw up down to Adu in the corner, and he'll turn. Nope. And he'll kick it out, and then Boogie or Wagner or Thero will try to go do something crazy and do like a little floater or a little jump hook or something in the lane or by the lane, and no one's crashing the boards. If we're going to play ISO ball, which is totally fine with me, Coach Calipari is way smarter than me at this, but if we're going to play ISO ball at the end of the game and you want a shot, we're going to go Wagner one possession, we're going to go over here to Boogie for a possession, we're going to go over here for Thero for a possession, whatever it is. Why would we not all be standing ready to crash the boards as soon as he makes his move? When he starts to make his move, I'm sprinting down the line. I'm going to go get the board, because if he misses it, this is where our tip backs are going to have to happen, and our energy is going to have to go. That's how we're going to run this. But literally, we get one shot almost at the end of every game. We get one shot, and if we miss it, no one's there. Boogie tries to do something crazy, and he ends up short because he's got no legs, hits the front of the rim, and they've got 4 guys just standing there waiting for it, and all of our guys are standing on the perimeter just watching. If you want to watch the game, guys, go buy a ticket and sit in the student section. If you want to play in the game, go crash the damn boards and go get it. You have to want it. It doesn't look like this team wants anything. It's like we're given and we deserve this because we're good. We're 5 stars. We're getting paid. You're getting paid to get your ass beat right now is what you're getting paid for. And this is going to be a gut check for this team. Who do you want to be? Who do you want the legacy of this team to be? Because we had, this team reminds me a lot of the team that we had a few years ago with Anthony Black, Jordan Walsh, Nick Smith. We had some senior leadership who transferred in. We had some older guys, but these 3 freshmen, they were lost in the sauce, right? It was like they couldn't identify where they wanted to be. Injury with Nick Smith. Jordan Walsh was like, who was Jordan Walsh the whole season? Then he turns it on in the tournament. And then Anthony Black is like the only guy trying to hold it down, and he's a freshman. That's kind of like what it's gonna be with Boogie right now. Is Boogie's trying to hold this down, but Boogie's forcing up shots like crazy. Then you got Wagner, who's to me one of the best players on the team and the most explosive guys on the team. They just kind of disappear as the game goes on. And these guys, you are the main dudes, but we have no one to speak up and keep these guys accountable and keep them going and keep them motivated. It makes no sense. We do stuff that makes no sense to me. There was under 30 seconds left. We're down by 6, and we just stood there, looked at Coach Cal like, do we foul? Do we foul? You have to give yourself a chance. Every time that something happens, it's like we look over at Coach like, what do we do? You're a 5-star. You know what to do. You're about to be a professional. You're getting paid like a professional already. Dang, man. It's just driving me nuts that these guys have all the talent in the world, and all they need is discipline and leadership, and it has to come from them. They have to do it. I hope that we can turn around against Florida. It's hard to take the sample size that it is, but if we get throttled by Florida, we're in for a long season. We're in for a long one. And we can't just blame the SEC for being that good. We're going to have to blame ourselves because we have no leader out there. And we're going to question, fire Calipari. It's already started. It's already started. And Kentucky fans love it. After Saturday's game, we turn around and play the 14th against LSU at LSU, who's 11-4. That's a very gettable game. They've lost to Vanderbilt 80-72, and they've lost to Missouri 83-67. LSU is bad. They're 11-4. They average 69 points a game in those 2 games, 28 rebounds. They're right there with us. 34% from 3. We're 21, and then 76% from the free throw line. That's where they get most of their points right there. But we can go get LSU for sure. If we lose to LSU, Calipari's in trouble. We wasted a lot of money on that man. But it's all about, to me, literally there's no leadership. It's just athletes playing basketball. Someone's just going to have to step up out of the group and be like, listen, this is what we're doing. You have to have that team meeting where, hey, we're good enough. We know we're good enough, but if we don't start playing together, we're going to get beat by everybody. So let's band together here like brothers. Let's just hope they do that. I'm still hopeful. I'm a hopeful hog, and with hopeful hog, we're going to hop straight into the hopeful hog section, which is our football team. Pittman, we just got another transfer. D-back out of Auburn. He had 17 tackles on the year, didn't play a whole lot. And to be honest with you, that's kind of where, man, this recruiting, I'm hopeful, but I feel like I'm always hopeful. I'm a hopeful fan that these people are going to turn into what you want. And I'm going to give Coach Pittman a lot of credit that Tesla and Armstrong come from either a super small D1 or even out of D1. Armstrong wasn't even in D1. Look at him, number one receiver in the SEC, going to get drafted. Just needs some speed. That's all he needs. He's got the hands. He's got the route running. He finds the separation. But what we're missing now, and people picking our best players and they're going somewhere else, and we're pulling in guys that we hope are better or the same, is a scary place to be. Like, you can't look at, other than Madden, the quarterback, I always mess up, Nico's little brother from Tennessee. You can't look at a guy and be like, whoa, I can't believe we got him. Maybe Crutchfield, but he also didn't play. So it's like Crutchfield didn't play. All of our guys that we're pulling in are like, dude, this dude's big. He's a freshman. He's from he went to Oregon. He went to Georgia Tech. They didn't play. He came from A&M, man. He played 7 plays. No one's worried or scared. They could be. These guys could be studs, and Pittman's going to look amazing, but we have no street cred behind these people. And that's kind of what I'm hoping we eventually establish, is some street cred. Is like, bro, let's go get somebody who we know they're going to make an impact immediately because of who they are and what they've done. Like, that's it. Like, we know that they're going to be, like, we went and got a stud. So quick update right here. Breaking news. Carson Beck plans to enter the transfer portal because he probably dipped his toe in the draft. And they're like, no, bro, you're not it. He promised like a Heisman and a national championship and a #1 draft pick. And this man's not even going to be a first rounder. They say the 3 teams that he's looking at transferring to, of course, they're not in the SEC. Ohio State, Miami, and Texas Tech. I dare him. We'll meet you. You go to Texas Tech, Carson Beck, and we'll meet you in the Liberty Bowl next year and wax them cheeks. I'm sorry. I didn't know where that came from. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. But I'm just tired as a Hog fan of being hopeful, and I think that that's what we're going to be. Like, we just haven't, like, if we went, I don't want a Carson Beck, but the name that he has, like him or a Quinn Ewers, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go get somebody, you're like, dang, that automatically upgrades our team. These guys, I'm not saying they don't, but they have to prove it to us every year, which is cool because we get to find out what an Armstrong's like. We get to find those talents and see them. It's just, it would be nice to get a starting Georgia lineman. A great starting D lineman from Bama. Not these backups that never got playing time, so it's going to take a minute, and we got to hope that they're good. If not, all we're banking on is this kid's big and he went to Georgia or he went to Oregon, and you're like, oh, is that good? He went to A&M, but he didn't play. So that's my little rant. I'm ready for us to get like a real big splash in a portal. A portal splash would be amazing, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so I looked this up. It popped up on my my Instagram. So I found this basketball team that lost to North Dakota State. They're called Oak Hills Christian, and they lost to North Dakota State in an exhibition game, like 106-11. And this is a college team. They're Division II, and so I was looking up to see what their record was right now. Like, how are they doing? They lost by 96 to a team. Well, they're actually 3-9, and they've done pretty decent. But their last game, they played a school, and they won 90-26. The team that got beat 106-11 beat another team 90-26. And so I had to look up the other team. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's another team out there that's like this. Guys, I'm not making this up. Free Lutheran Bible College. Okay, look them up. Look them up. Free Lutheran Bible College is a D2 basketball school. They're 0-5. And I'm not trying to, this is just blows my mind that they even have a basketball team. These are real scores. I'm not joking with you. They lost to Faith Baptist Bible School 85-5. All their points came from one guy. They lost another game 114-14. They lost another game 87-11. They lost another game 92-9. And they lost their last game 90-26 against the team that lost 114-11. What are we doing? Why are they not just doing intramural basketball? What are we doing? They have stats here. Hold on. Let me look at these stats. These boys be pulling statistics. Hold on. Get the dust off their statistics because there ain't many. Oh my gosh. In 5 games. If you want, okay, here's some hope for the Arkansas fans. First of all, why is Free Lutheran Bible College not on the Razorbacks? In 5 games, listen to their averages. Oh, dear God. They average 14 rebounds a game. They average 1 assist a game. They average 41% from the free throw line. They average 6% from the three-point line. Their field goal percentage on the year is at 17%. And this is through 5 games. Their average points per game is 13. What are we doing? What are we doing? They're 0-4 at home. People come to these games. Oh, my Lanta. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, my gosh. I'm crying. I'm sorry, but this is D2 basketball. There ain't no way any of them boys on scholarship for basketball. They all academics. The coach just said, anybody want to play basketball? And they said yes. I'm sorry. That's just so funny to me. Why don't we just do intramurals? I mean, come on. You can lose, but if you score in the single digits in college basketball, oh shit, I wouldn't play after we lost 87-7. I'm walking away. Oh my gosh. They had the first game, only one dude scored. He hit a 3 and a layup. He could be like, I led my team to score. Oh my God. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I know it's a Christian school. I can't help it, but good night. I can't. I had to laugh at something because I'm tired of laughing at us, at myself, and these Razorbacks. At the end of the day, if Calipari and the Razorbacks have a bad year, a real bad year, let's seriously consider dropping down to D2 so we can play free. Yeah, we can win that division. We can win it. We just need 10 points. Just get us to double digits and we got them, baby. We got them. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I gotta get ready to get out of here. It's snowing. It is starting to snow here. It is Snowmageddon. Y'all be safe out there. This was episode 34 brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition. My name is Jeremy. I am your host. Jordan is coming back. I swear, guys, he's just working everywhere right now. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. 3 things to live by before you guys get out of here. 1, don't piss into the wind. 2, hogs by 90, especially against Free Lutheran. And 3, and most importantly, never, ever trust a fart. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.